Hey everyone, first things first, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that I know that there are people out there who are actually watching. It feels good to know that there are people on the other side. If I make it, I'm gonna remember my day ones. So, you better be on the right side of history. So within the group of things that I've recently gotten, there are some things that are very bougie and some things that are more affordable. I was down to get like very bougie things right now because Sephora was having a 20% off sale and I was like, it's like Christmas. I'm really excited to try this primer. It's the Tatcha Silk Canvas. I have seen so many people talk about it with both dry skin, oily skin, and everybody loves it. It's pressed layers of silk. Oh my god, it's so bougie. Insert the Leo meme that's like buys the bougie version. That's me. It's supposed to keep your makeup out of your skin so it causes like less damage. The pigments don't get into your pores and stuff so much. It also just is supposed to be like super pore filling, beautiful. It comes with this little spatula and you just fill it up to this little line and it's supposed to be enough for your whole face. Oh my god, even that I feel like was so much. I'm going to rub it into the center of my face, like where I have a little more texture, where I get more oily. It smells so good. Wow, I'm like, the $50 was worth it already. It's like so smooth. When I'm trying something new like that, I want to keep all the other Complexion products to things that I've already tried and really like, so that, you know, I actually know if it's the primer and not like a new foundation or whatever that I don't or do like. I actually got this on Poshmark or Depop. Whenever I'm interested in buying a more expensive makeup or skincare product, I'll always check if it's available on those apps first, because a lot of people actually sell things that are new. Something that I purchased during the Ulta 20% off sale were a lot of new Complexion brushes. So the Real Techniques brushes, which are amazing for the quality. With certain foundations, using a brush is just better. It makes you look a lot more like airbrushed and just like the foundation combines better with your skin. I'm going to be lining my waterline with a nude eyeliner. I think it's just going to make me look really awake. Something I love to use, again, when I want like an everyday look but with a twist, are the Colourpop Supershock shadows. It's so easy to put on. It's like this bouncy texture, unlike any other eyeshadow. You could just put it on your finger. That's actually the best way to apply them. And it's like automatically has a lot of pigment. And since it has so many reflex, again, it just really looks like you tried way harder, like you're wearing a lot of different like layered metallics. So I'll just pack on the color with my fingers, and then afterwards I'll go in with like a fluffy brush around the edges to diffuse it. Sometimes I want like a kind of blockier shape, so I'll clean it up with a Q-tip. I think that beauty is just like a great form of expression, and for me it was something creative and distracting. Living in the world that's so depressing and then doing like this kind of work, being somebody who like is a support for a lot of people, it's really exhausting. And for me, just taking the time to do this has been really fantastic for like my mental health and also just creatively. I've learned so many new things and it's just, I'm having like such a good time doing it. And my whole idea was that it's almost like combining like a podcast and a tutorial. I really like listening to podcasts, you know, a lot of people do. At the same time, I like to, you know, have fun, look good, know what's the latest and greatest in like skincare. So I wanted to combine the two things because I don't feel like anyone else is doing that. So for me, it was just really exciting that the first time I did that video, it was really well received. I want to find a way to talk about things that are going on in the world. I'm trying to think of like the delivery because there's just so much happening at all times, and there are certain things where like I think if people really want to learn about something, like take the time to read an article or a book or something, you know? Something I was thinking about is like all the people who are currently traveling through Mexico from Central America and like the role of the United States in Central America, you know, why people are migrating. With something as important as that, people should be willing to really set aside the time for it, you know. I'm going to use this eyeliner. It's by Pixie, which you can get at Target. And there's really nothing special about it. It's just a brown eyeliner that has a little bit of shimmer running through it, just to give a little bit more intensity to the eyes, but in a way that's kind of like invisible. Right now that I'm watching this, there was just a shooting. I really don't think that the whole gun control thing will ever happen. If it didn't happen when like Sandy Hook, like when little kids are getting killed, then it's just never gonna happen. Like, I don't think anything will be enough if that wasn't enough. So every time that happens, it's just like so heartbreaking, and increasingly it happens in places that, you know, anybody would frequent, and it just creates this level of fear. Obviously, the most disappointing part is that it's not a big deal because of who the shooters are. We just came out of the elections that I did the voter guide for. The things that I was kind of most excited for were to see if Kevin De Leon would win the senator seat and dethrone Dianne Feinstein, and that didn't happen, so that's really disappointing. Prop 10 didn't pass in California, which is very, very disappointing as well. And I saw a lot of stuff yesterday on Facebook talking about how it's just like peak liberalism that in California people would pass Prop 12, which is for animals, to have more space, but not for there to be better housing conditions for people. Do rich people care more about animals than they do about poor people and people of color? Probably. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Setting Powder. This one I've been liking it. I feel like the color is a little bit weird for me because I thought it was translucent, but I feel like it actually has color, and I think it's like a little pink. Other than that, like the finish is really nice. I think it's a really good drugstore option, and I just press that into the skin using a damp beauty blender to really like lock that in. For blush, this is a new blush. This is the Flower Beauty Flower Pot. And this is a really nice just peach color. I really like peach on myself for blush. And I'm just going to put it on the apples. Just smile a little bit. Okay, back to elections. So exciting about all the women of color who got seats. It's so like messed up that some of those barriers are barely being broken. Like the first Native American women to be elected to like the House or Congress or whatever it was, like that is so embarrassing that that's just happening. Seeing Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I think is her last name, right? When she first, you know, got to be the nominee, I was really excited about her, but I'm just like really confused about why she said abolish ICE like so much, and then in the end said, I don't mean abolish ICE, I mean reform ICE and keep deporting people. Reform ICE and abolish ICE is not the same thing. I want that to get cleared up. Then I'll be a fan. Trying to play around with nose contour. Not even like to change the shape, but just also like to give the shadows back. I think putting foundation, again, really takes away so much dimension from your face. I'm going to set, this is the e.l.f. setting spray. I think they're increasingly just like really amazing organizing in the South too, and I think that people overlook it, especially like in states like California where we're like, oh, Texas, they're so racist. Like we're so advanced over here. It's like the same people who will tell you like, oh, LA is not like what it is on TV. Like LA is not Hollywood and Melrose and Calabasas, which is true. Like those aren't the places that like hold meaning to a lot of us. Like they're the same people who about other places do define the place by like its worst people. In Texas, in Georgia, like the organizing for this last election, even if there aren't wins, which there, you know, potentially can be with the recounts, it's still like so much organizing went into it, and people's work can't be discounted like that. Even if they don't win, it showed us, like particularly Texas, that people who actually live in Texas really maybe shouldn't be ignored and like dismissed as like, oh, this whole huge state is full of like whatever people think, rednecks or whatever. I think that the like voter suppression that we saw in this election is also really awful. Wow. They're trying so hard, like fucking up screens and making lines and like, you know, voter ID and all these different things like to keep people from voting, then maybe it does mean something, like maybe it does count for something. So not everybody can be a member of an organization, donate money, participate in direct action, you know, make this their career. But what we really need are people who are more willing to do the work internally. Healing your own trauma is a form of resistance. It's important to check the people who are around you in your real life. Like, so yeah, tell your non-Black friends to stop saying the N-word. Check your Mexican family on the problematic things that they say about Central American. Do your part to not be like shaming people if they're not on the same level as you, they don't have the same access to information as you, but still try to engage them. I just used this Flesh Pot. It's an eye and cheek gloss. I wanted to try it as a glossy highlight and I'll see how it goes. I'm not totally sure. It is really wet, so I'm not sure if it's gonna like kind of absorb or fade out, but I'm interested in that product. And for lips, I'm going to be using these little Pat McGrath lipsticks. I just got this set of 3 during the Sephora sale. It was like 20 bucks for these minis. I'm going to be using the shade Obsessed, which is a red orange, which is my favorite lipstick color. I think that even within movements, within organizations, people are just humans at the end of the day, so they really are seeking power a lot of the times, don't care about the people that they're supposed to be serving, just care about being like the biggest, baddest, their budget, and not really like developing leadership, having accountability to others, and unlearning themselves. And unlearning is just an internal process that we're all in. I love orange tones. I love red orange lipstick. It was really quick, so even though, you know, it does look a little bit more done, it only would take like 15 minutes if you weren't talking as much as I am. I keep looking at myself in the mirror, you know, just Leo things. I'm gonna keep thinking through ways to find a sweet spot between if you're somebody who, you know, is here for a tutorial or review, making it accessible enough where it's not like too heavy, too boring for somebody like that, but at the same time, if you're somebody who's here to like think through something together or, you know, hear about what I have to say about a certain topic, making it so that you're still kind of like picking something up along the way. I just wanted to talk about some things that did happen during the election, just say my part about this shaming of people who vote, and it's just kind of like, okay, you win, you're so radical, okay, so what are you gonna do? We're all watching, we're all waiting, we're here for you, but what's your move then? Because we're waiting. Really, I'm down. Just let me know. So far, I really loved that primer. It's expensive, but I really like it. I feel like I can totally see a difference. If you want to spend the money, if you want to treat yourself, get the bougie things. If not, I always try to, along the way, you know, name a dupe or like a more affordable option that's similar in performance. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe, okay? Please. Bye.